How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Dark Souls. I am working on a couple of videos, one of which I rank all of the weapons in the game, which is very exciting but time consuming. The other is going to be hopefully coming out this next weekend, where I delve into some damage calculation and various other damage mechanics in the game. But while I was doing this, I made a pretty incredible discovery that I looked around and I actually couldn't find anything that referenced exactly how the red Tearstone ring worked. I've always thought that it is just a plus 50% damage multiplier, but that is not how it works. So let's get into that. I got a few tests that we'll run through. One is going to be with the Dagger. The Dagger has a motion value of 100 on the standard R1 attack. What a motion value is, and hopefully I'll put these numbers up in post, is just a damage multiplier to your weapon's attack rating. So if you see here, I am one-handing my Dagger. I have 54 strength and 50 dexterity, giving me a total attack rating of 104. The Asylum Demon in New Game Plus has a physical defense of 141. So if you run it through the damage calculator, you get a total damage output of 25.7, and it's rounded down, so let's go take a look at that here. And I've heard this song so many times in my testing here these past couple days. So standard R1, that's 25 damage. Now if a 50% increase with the red Tearstone ring were to be active, I think it would be 38 damage. Don't worry about that, I have no damage taken on right now. So if we do an attack, it is 68 damage, which is obviously way more than 50%. I'm also going to show this with Power Within. That gives me 96 damage, and then finally we can combine those two buffs with the Dragon Tearstone buff, and we get 156 damage. Let's dark sign out here real quick, and just for whatever testing purposes, we're also going to go in with the Astora's Straight Sword, as that has a magic buff on it as well. And this is also the first time I'm doing that, but I'm going to be sure to put these numbers up on the screen here after I am done recording this. So let's go take a look. Again, this similarly, so it has a total attack rating of 152. It's got... We'll ignore that for the moment. Even when you're using a no damage, or I set my HP to like 200 or whatever as you see there. So let's do that here. So it's got a physical attack rating of 152 and a magic attack rating of 115 for a total combined attack rating of 152 one-handed. And this one is a little bit more interesting. I'm going to be using the R2 attack, which has a motion value of 120. This is also for my own testing because I want to see if it's going to work how I expect it to. So for weapons that have innate magic, lightning, or fire damage, the attack rating is multiplied by the motion value for both the physical and elemental component, which is different than a weapon buff. There you see we do 201 damage with that R2 attack. Whereas using a weapon buff just adds a flat damage, and it is not multiplied by the motion value. So let's throw on our red Tearstone ring here. Hit R2. So 372. I'm going to do that again just to make sure I wasn't getting counter or instability damage. Maybe I should cut this part out. No, I'll leave it in. This is just a kind of a brief video while I'm recording this at 10 o'clock at night, getting ready to go to bed, but I figured this was too important to share. Let's try this again. Got the red Tearstone ring on. Yeah, 372. Now let's cast Power Within, see what we're dealing with. 521, which is honestly ridiculous. And then we'll do all three. 715, and we'll dark sign out. So those are all of the attack ratings, and I will button this up. I'll do a post voiceover once I throw up some graphics, so it'll be a couple of minutes for me, but it should be right next for you. Alright, so what does this all mean? Again, I had always been under the assumption that the red Tearstone ring was a straight 50% damage multiplier to all damage. The power within was a 40% damage buff to all damage, and the Dragon Torso Stone plus 3 was a 35% damage increase to all damage. Not the case. So again, for the Dagger, we have an attack rating of 104. The standard R1 attack has a motion value of 100, and what the red Tearstone ring actually does is it multiplies the motion value of your attack by 50%. So instead of using a motion value of 100, instead it uses 150 whenever you have the red Tearstone ring on, which results in the 68 damage. As far as the other items go, power within is correct. So once you run it through all of the damage calculation, it does indeed give you just a straight 40% damage increase. And then the Dragon Torso Stone plus 3, which is the Covenant rank, is also very similar to the red Tearstone ring. However, even though I am at plus 3, which you can see right there, instead of a 35% boost, it is actually a 1.3 multiplier to your motion value as well. And yes, the red Tearstone ring and Dragon Torso Stone, I can't speak. The red Tearstone ring and Dragon Torso Stone do in fact stack, which for the Dagger, again with a base motion value of 100 multiplied by 1.5 and again times 1.3 results in a motion value of 195, which is incredibly high. Anything above 150 is usually pretty incredible for a weapon. If you think of the Balder Side Sword, I think the R2 thrusting attack is a motion value of 160. As far as Astora's Straight Sword, again, for weapons with innate magical damage, lightning damage, or fire damage, again, it's very similar, and yes, indeed, it does stack. In this case, with a motion value of 134 for the one-handed R2, that results in 201 damage. The red Tearstone ring on results in a higher motion value and gives you 372 damage. I should do that math here, so 134 times 1.5 is 201, and then you add on top the Dragon Torso Stone plus 3, and you get a final motion value of 261.3, and you multiply that all by 40% at the end with power within, and you get a damage output of 713.6. There's some rounding, I'm sure, so it actually is increased up to 715. So hopefully I've put some numbers on the screen here. That's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to try to get this video out here tonight before I go to bed, which is in a couple of short minutes. Again, I'm going to put up a much longer video this weekend where I delve into a lot more of this in terms of what motion values are, how defense and attack work, which I touched upon very briefly in my last video, and we're going to be going over a couple of other things as well. So again, this was just a short one-off. I thought about waiting to make this until I had gotten everything, but I thought this was too important to share. So again, thank you for all the support recently, and I hope to see you whenever my next video drops. Thanks.